Hi everyone, welcome to the Columbus State Library tutorial about researching federal statutory law using the Nexis Uni database. In this example, we'll take you through the process for researching the Federal Safe Drinking Water Act. It is the law originally passed by Congress in 1974 to protect public health by regulating the nation's public drinking water supply. Keep in mind that in most instances, the first step in legal research is to discover applicable law, also known as statutes. This means it will first be necessary to determine governing state and federal statutes before searching for judicial precedents set forth in the court cases relevant to your research topic. So with that in mind, I'm going to show you how to navigate to the Nexis Uni database. So we're going to start from the Columbus State homepage, which I have a window open here. You can see it's just cscc.edu, and then you'll go to the Academics drop-down menu here, and then Library will be in that list. Alternatively, you can go directly to the library's homepage at library.cscc.edu. So this is the library homepage, and then to get to the databases, we're going to go to the Find Books and Articles drop-down menu here. Okay, there it is. And then under Find Articles, you'll see Databases. I'm going to click on that. And when you get here, you'll notice the databases are listed alphabetically, so we can click on N to get to Nexis Uni, but we also have a couple featured databases over here. And Nexis Uni is one of those, and that's easier, so I'm just going to go ahead and click it there. Because I am off campus, I'm going to have to put in my last name and Cougar ID to access any of the databases. Okay, so when this loads, we're going to see a horizontal search box that appears across the top of the page. And that is where I'm going to type in my search terms. Here's the box, and I am going to search Safe Drinking Water Act. And I enclose that search in quotation marks to ensure that my search results include the specific word combination. Okay. So from the gray shaded area, it's gray on my screen. I'm not sure how it's going to look on your screen, but we'll call it the column to the left. I am going to select statutes and legislation. And then I am going to scroll down to category here. And I am going to choose codes. And then I'm going to scroll down to jurisdiction, and I'm going to select U.S. Federal since we're researching federal law. This will allow you to access material from the U.S. Code, USC, which is the source that contains official U.S. law. You should note that the United States Code Annotated, the USCA, and the United States Code Service, USCS, are two other well-known sources containing official U.S. law. However, unlike USC, they also provide helpful indexes and annotations, which are explanatory notes, which greatly facilitate legal research. So now we're going to narrow our results further. You have the option to narrow your results by adding more specificity to your research parameters. For example, if you're interested in damage caused by lead in water, you can enter the word lead in the Search Within Results box, which is here. As another example, you could enter the phrase untreated waste and sludge. We are going to stick with lead, and I am just going to put it in the Search Within box and click Enter. So as you scroll down through the list, you'll see code sections for definitions, which is 42 USCS 300F here. Cleanup standards, which is 42 USCS 9621. We are looking for emergency notifications, which is 42 USCS 11004, and I happen to know that's on the third page, so I am just going to go there. And here is what we're looking for. So if you click on it. When it loads, you'll notice there's going to be a Table of Contents tab. You can click this tab for an overview of 42 USCS 11004. Here's that tab I'm talking about. As you scroll down to view the language and content of the actual code section, which is all here, and then this is followed by a history section indicating the bills that went into its making, annotations or notes that provide explanation of the law, and citations relevant to relevant court cases and decisions. And then lastly, you'll see the research references and practice aids section. This provides references to portions of the U.S. Code of Federal Regulations, the Legal Encyclopedia American Jurisprudence, or AMJUR, and law review articles and other materials that have a connection to notification requirements in the event of an emergency. So that is what it looks like in Nexis Uni. We're going to scroll back to the beginning of the code section. And you'll notice up here you have options for printing and emailing the section. Also, there's Google Drive, and you have the option to search for a specific search term here, which is helpful when the document is lengthy. So for the next step, you do need to minimize the table of contents so you can see the content over here on the right. You'll notice the Shepard citator icon that appears on the right-hand side of the screen, indicating this well-known feature of legal research, which allows updating legal content, is a part of the Nexis Uni database. Shepardizing enables you to determine whether the statutes and court cases you uncover in your research are still considered good law, essentially meaning they have not been superseded, overturned, or otherwise questioned for their validity. So returning to our example, select the option to Shepardize. So I'm going to click that link there. Doing so provides a list of all court cases that have cited 42 USCS 11004. And then notice that the sort box or sort by box here allows you to organize results by date or by court level from U.S. Supreme Court to lower court state cases. To see citings made by other code sections or law review articles, click on the Other Citing Sources tab that appears to the left of your results list here. So I'm just going to click on that. Okay, to go into this a little further, you can enter Shepard signals indicators in the help box. So if we type in, I'm going to put it in quotes, Shepard's signal, and search that. This provides you with explanations of the symbols used in Shepards to indicate how a case has been treated or evaluated as it is moved through the court system. A red circle indicates the case has received negative legal evaluation or treatment by subsequent court rulings. A green diamond indicates the case has received positive evaluation by subsequent court rulings, and a yellow symbol indicates caution, or that the validity of a court decision has been brought into question by subsequent court rulings. So that is Shepardizing. Now we're going to perform a related search on the state level. So let's say you decide you'd like to find legislation and cases specifically relevant to the recent Flint, Michigan drinking water crisis, a topic of interest to you that has relevance to the Federal Safe Drinking Water Act. So to do so, we are going to use the left arrow key to return to the page where we originally received search results. So let's go back. One more. Okay, So if we scroll up here, we'll see the heading Statutes and Legislation appears in red because this is the option you initially selected. This time select Cases from the gray shaded area or the column on the left. Then we're going to scroll down and select Court, and we're going to select the state of Michigan. Okay, right there. And then since you happen to know that the Flint water crisis began sometime in 2014, you determined it could be helpful to access the timeline. So let's select this option, which is here. You can either adjust the left tab on the graph indicating only the start date of January 1st, 2014 in order to allow for the retrieval of cases up to the current time, or you can fill in the first search box that appears under the graph with the same date, January 1st, 2014. I am just going to use the slider bar if the computer will allow me to. Okay, and then I'll click OK. So we are going to narrow our search further by typing Flint in the search within results box. We used this in the last example too, so I'll go ahead and do that. So here are our results. It brings up the original January 25th, 2018 Mays v. Snyder, Michigan appellate case you've heard about and would like to peruse, which is right here. It also brings up the Michigan case from 2019 and one from 2020 that meet your search criteria. You note that in addition to references to the Federal Safe Drinking Water Act, the Mays v. Snyder case contains references to 42 U.S.C.S. section 11004. So you should now be able to conduct a basic search for statutory law in Nexis Uni. In addition to using the database for your classes and paralegal studies, you may find it a helpful resource for political science, history, sociology, and other courses. By following the guided example presented in this tutorial, and with a little exploration of your own, you'll be able to discover the many benefits it offers. If you have any questions, please feel free to follow up with a librarian. I am going to show you how to contact us by going back to the library homepage, which again is library.cscc.edu. All our contact information can be found there. Most of it is in this blue box here, so you can email us at refdesk@cscc.edu. You can call us at 614-287-2460. You'll see this Ask the Library Chat with Us in Real Time box. If you click that, you can chat with a librarian in real time during the hours that we're open. And then this Book a Librarian box allows you to schedule an appointment in advance to either have an appointment with a librarian on the phone or through video chat. So please don't hesitate to ask us any questions you might have. Thank you.